There comes a time in the life of every poultry farmer where he or she has to dispose his or her birds. That time has come here at Sementia Farms. And today I want to share that with you, what our experience of over 120 weeks has been with these birds and why we are disposing them now. So come alongside with me and let's go on that journey of what we are doing here at the farm. If you have visited this farm just a few months back, you would have seen something completely different. We built this capacity to actually host about 10,000 birds since 2019. From the day these chicks arrived, we have been with them, slept with them here, make sure their temperatures are regulated. They had enough food, moving them from starters to preparing our own food. And that has been the journey for the past 120 weeks here at the farm. As you guys know, this is the first time we actually started poultry farm in this farm. And it was, to me, an experience. As I said, we built this capacity to host 10,000. Out of that, we brought birds from Ghana, birds from Cote d'Ivoire, birds from Holland, and birds from Belgium. Over these years and weeks, we have learned so much. We have gathered so much information, equipped ourselves to be able to do poultry farming differently next time that we start. But the unfortunate thing is that, as you all know, layers have a limit, a lifetime limit. And that time has come. And therefore, we are disposing majority of our birds. It has been a long journey, as I said, and we've learned so much. And we can't wait to share all that details with you. I think we have already started a series called Poultry University. If you haven't watched that, you can go to our playlist and see where we started from. We're going to continue that journey and share with you guys everything that we have learned from the beginning of 2019 till 2023, where we are finally selling our birds. Which birds did we have to sell earlier? Which birds laid more eggs? Which birds were more productive as compared to making money, right? Which birds died early, right? And which birds actually started laying eggs faster? We have so much information that we're going to share with you. But today we are selling our birds. And as you can see, we've already sold about 3 pens. I think we are left with just a few. And I want to share this with you because most of you might ask, when can you sell? We are selling at 120 weeks, but it depends on how you feed them. It depends on how you take care of them. But the straightforward answer is, as I always preach, we need to do farming like a business. In the beginning, you're going to be investing money into these birds. So your initial capital, which is constructing your pen, it's going to be locked in there. For the next 16 weeks, you're going to be spending money on food, medication, plus vaccination, labor. But the most important one is food. You're going to be spending a lot of money. You're going to spend that money for the next 16 weeks till, if you feed them well, you take good care of them, you're going to see your first egg. And as you guys saw, those who have been following me for a long time, the first day we picked our first egg, I was as happy as a little kid. But that days have gone by, right? And we've gotten to where we are. But as you continue to spend money on them, even sometimes till maybe the 40th weeks, till their eggs are being sold and are able to feed them, right? So at that point, you start breaking even, where you're not investing any more money in it, but the proceeds that you make from the eggs can buy their maize, their soya beans, their wheat brown, and so on and so forth. At that point, you're still in business and you want to continue. You're going to continue that for 1 year, 1.5 years, depending on how well you take care of them. And in business, that is good because you're going to be making some profit. The logic, right, is that the more they lay or they grow older, their production increases. And as their production increases, your revenue also increases, right? But the food still remains the same. That's when you start making profits to save into things like your capital, what you use to build your pen, what you use to buy your feeders, what you use to buy the birds themselves, right? But it gets to a point where you realize that as they are growing old, their production decreases. Yes, so your profit is going to decrease to a certain time where you're going to come back to breaking even. And that's the point where you need to pay a closer look at your birds. To the point where the moment you start dropping less than how much they are eating, that's the point for you to sell. So mostly it's not really about how old your birds are, but it's more about how productive are they being. Because if their output, right, it's not more or exceeds your input, then that is the time for you to make that decision. And that's why we did experiment with so many other birds to be able to understand when to make this decision. And we have all that data that we are going to be telling you. Christmas came at a good time when we were disposing our birds. So we had a lot of sales from our birds here. And that's why I said we have only about 1 or 2 pen more to go, and we are selling. Who are the customers? We've been selling to all kinds of people. We've been selling to restaurants operators who will come here and pick them. Those guys don't pick in bulk. They will pick maybe 50, 60, depending on how big their restaurant is. There are other people who had come from Cote d'Ivoire, but their prices were very bad. So they intended to buy everything, but we refused to do that because their price wasn't good. You're also going to have your local vendors who are actually buying and have cages in town and selling it. They also do move, but again, you're not going to get it in bulk. So if your birds are healthy and you're not in a rush, then there's no point, right, in selling it cheap once at a time, because we're taking our time to really sell it gradually to make good money and make sure that the people that really needs it also get it. So that's how we've been selling. Christmas, we did have a lot of box sales, which was good for us. I think another question you might ask is, are you going to continue with poultry? I think the infrastructure, the investment has already been done. As you guys can see, we've built this over 2019. It is a lot of capital that has been locked in, and you're not going to rip that by just having the first round. You need to continue, because this structure, as you guys have seen videos about it, was built to last long. I have metal poles, good wood, roofing sheet, good roofing sheet. As you can see, they haven't even rusted yet, and it's been almost like, 4 years. So it depends on you, but for us, I think looking at the cost of feeding, and the price of eggs at this point, I think we're going to hold on till things change. I don't know. I know there's a lot of funding being pushed into poultry farming this year. So if we chance on something like that, yes, we might go back into poultry farming. But till we really see the difference in the increase in food versus the increase in the products, which is either the egg or the birds, we might hold back. And as you guys know, I'm focusing a lot on goats. So that is where the attention is. I might have a few chicken here just to still continue a few experiments and to be able to learn and create contents like this for you guys. But for now, we might pause on our poultry production and just have a few to feed the school, to create content, and so on and so forth, to use it as a research center as well. But if you guys have any ideas or have access to any funds or anything that is supporting farmers, I'm happy to do that. But as it stays now, we might not. But before I go, let me not forget, you might be wondering, how much are we selling our chickens? We are actually selling a chicken for 60 Ghana cedis here, right? So we are not incurring any transportation, nothing. We are selling them for 60 Ghana cedis per one. I'm going to bring you more video about how much money we've been making. I think I ended my last one in somewhere in March. So we're going to continue that and bring it all the way to when we sold them, how much we made. So stay tuned and keep on watching. We'll continue bringing you more informative videos on agriculture. See you in another video.